Well, it is now the end of day, kind of. We actually ended our day early. We're like at just after 3.
Yeah.
In an E46 M3.
On our way back down to civilization.
We have kind of gone through some shit the last couple days, or the last couple of shoots.
Yes.
These past couple days have been, I don't want to say a dream come true, but they've been pretty idyllic. Weather has been phenomenal just to even hang out in, let alone drive.
Unpredictable.
I'm going to turn this down. And, yeah, this is the first time we're actually doing, like, in-car for this little podcast thing, which is nice. But, Justin, what are your thoughts on the day?
Given that the only issue we had was a blown tire on the camera vehicle, which we had a full-size spare for.
From 2006.
From 2006, but still had air. We're good. That is about the best possible bad scenario you can ask for.
Yeah.
And especially when it was just parked when we noticed it.
Yeah, we haven't had rain. We've just had, like, beautiful intermittent clouds going through the sky.
And while it has been warm, bordering hot, it hasn't been ridiculous. This was actually easier to deal with than the previous one as far as heat is concerned.
Yeah.
But all the cars have functioned well.
Even the BMW.
Even the BMW. And everything has just worked. You really can't ask for more than that. When you're doing a shoot, there's so many things that can go wrong. It's anything from camera issues to mic issues to, the owner, may not be available for some reason. There might have been something comes up in their lives. We've got the thing.
Or the car, won't turn on.
We've got the thing we can never predict because there's just no way to predict it, which is, how many people are going to be in the canyon that day?
And we get excited when we book cars for shoots, but you really can't count on something until it's right in front of you and it's driving.
I think we've both had experiences where either, A, we didn't think something was going to be good and it was actually decent, or B, the inverse. We thought, oh, wow, this looks great, and it was like, it wasn't actually that great.
I mean, we don't even really have an episode until we're home and everything's backed up doubly, and because we've also had card issues.
Yeah, we have had footage disappear more than once, but I wouldn't say an extreme amount. It's happened.
No, we just got bent over and fucked when we had the Audi film, and we lost all the interior footage for the RS4.
Yep.
So for those of you that have seen that, which the chance is very likely, you'll notice that the interior footage, like, of the inside of the car, was shot when we were doing our round table discussion at UMC.
Yep, it was, we had stuff on location,
but... It was that in the S6, I think, right? Because we had, like, bad audio from the S6.
Yeah, the S6 had a mic pack that was dying on these ones, but ironically, much more expensive ones that were rented.
This is before the advent of, these little mic packs. We were just using the Zoom. There's a Zoom H5
with Sennheiser mic packs.
Yeah,
which are the entry level to the professional grade type of stuff.
Yeah,
and they're
AKA prosumer.
Prosumer indeed, yeah, because they're like $500 each if you're actually paying for them.
Yeah.
So those screwed us twice. They actually also screwed us on the Antelope Island shoot with the R32s.
Yes.
Where I had to go home and solder the wires.
Yes, and like, to be fair, that was at a time where we were renting more gear.
Yep.
And so, when you're renting gear out to God knows who, anything can happen, and who knows how many times they've been used, how those microphone, like even the cables, were treated. But yeah, you said, wait right here.
I'll be back in 45 minutes.
Yeah, or something like that. And you went home and soldered, which is nuts.
Yeah, and soldering, these are tiny wires. These are 30 gauge wires inside, a typical headphone wire.
But just the basic idea of you wait here on location in some, like, you could say exotic area. I would say Antelope Island for Utah even is that kind of exotic.
I would say it's even beautiful. Like,
it is beautiful.
Tons of different variations.
Whereas, like, it's remote and stuff. So, like, you wait here while I go home and solder.
But we've dealt with equipment issues like that. We've also dealt with even an owner's car literally being rendered out of commission more than once on a shoot. Even on this set, we currently have one that we're going to have to go reshoot. And back in the Audi film, we had the Audi R8 get its oil pan destroyed by a rock.
Yeah.
A week before we were supposed to shoot it at the track, which was we had already rescheduled once because of a screw up on my end.
Yeah.
There was not a possibility to schedule it again after that. So given that these past 2 days with relatively quick cars, one of which, this one, is modified, that can do decent speed, all of which have higher miles, because even the NSX at 82 is like a little up there. It's not high.
Yeah,
it's definitely not low.
So this M3 we're driving is sitting at, well, once I can see the odometer, I can tell you.
189,561.
651.
Or 651, yeah, I'm dyslexic, sorry. The fact that none of them had an issue is amazing.
Yeah, even you would think a 90s Honda would be like the most indestructible thing in the world, and then we had a 1995 Honda Beat like tell us to go fuck ourselves.
Yeah, for those of you that are in the know of Hondas, we believe it had a starter relay failure, which, as I've come to find out after that shoot, is an extremely common problem.
Yeah.
And so the fact that we were able to show up on time, get more footage than we planned, shoot with the people we did, and drive home in these cars as we're doing right now, in sometimes, and I think these past 2 days are the same way, it's a miracle. It almost is.
It's, well, the darkest hours are just before the dawn. And yeah, we went through some of the most amount of stress related to booking cars and the whole back end of what we do here. Like the most stressful part of that has kind of been in the more recent shoots. So to have all the cars that we wanted to get for the shoot, which there are 3, they all drive amazing and haven't had any kind of mechanicals. The fact that the weather has turned out, the fact that, yes, as you all can see, we're driving through some traffic right now. We've had pretty good traffic. We haven't like pissed anyone off where they're like cursing us out or calling the cops or anything like that.
The bicyclists have actually been good. We haven't had a single one.
They've been really happy to be around us, so that's been appreciated.
Indeed. We couldn't have asked for better, really.
Yeah.
We genuinely couldn't, because the only other things we could ask for would have been, okay, fall colors, different time of year. Can't ask for that.
Yeah, but at the same time, that brings its own set of difficulties with, all the tourists and everyone trying to come out here to also see the fall colors.
Anything else?
This isn't just for us. We have to share, right?
Yes.
So we get to share that with the rest of Utah County.
Yeah, I think anything else we could ask for would have an equal caveat to it.
Yeah.
Really. Because even if, let's say, we got a more stock M3, that might be a bad thing. This one is not only modified, but heavily repaired.
Well, yeah, so it's been modified in all of the right ways and been improved through, you could say, I wouldn't call the SMG, tossing the SMG out to be a repair, but but it's a big bill for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So if you haven't seen the video yet, which likelihood is you haven't seen it yet, E46 M3, the big 3 as they're known have all been done. So the double vanos has been done, the rear subframe has been done, and the rod bearings have been done. And this car has had the transmission, originally an SMG, yanked out and replaced with a stick.
Indeed. And beyond that, so they basically unscrewed up what BMW screwed up and then continued to make sure that the suspension was dialed, clutch is good, shifters, even with the swap, the very, very small nuances it has is still really good. All of the tires are good. Everything's gone through. Well, everything.
So you want to explain why those things are good? You want to explain why the tires are good? This is a podcast format, remember? We're not trying to rush through this, so we're chilling.
And the tires are good because they're 200 treadwear, nice, thick boy, 265 squared all around.
Driving around that.
And they're on TEs.
TE37 SLs, which look delightful with the white wheels on the Alpine white paint with the cinnamon interior. And
it also has the CSL brakes.
CSL brake pads and rotors. The seats are Recaro's Sportster CS's, matched to the cinnamon really well. The guy that owns this is actually a guy that owns a leather company. So,
yeah,
it explains that.
Well, and with these seats, having known a little bit about Recaro myself, so this is probably $5,000 we're sitting in.
Oh, that's so good.
I know.
Money well spent, honestly.
It is. They look fantastic in the car. And
they don't over-hug you like my car or the Mark IV R32.
Yeah.
Because those are aggressive. I like aggressive seats. They're nice.
Yeah.
But this is a really nicely well bolstered seat that can accommodate multiple body types.
It's a really nice medium.
Yes.
Yeah. Without being a drawback in any one area.
Well, it's not so padded too. It's not quite thinly padded. It's better padded than, say, a Lotus Elise would be. But it's shaped in the right ways that, like, say, a Lotus Elise is. Those seats are shaped.
Yeah, and moving on from this, two other cars we haven't seen the video yet, which again you probably haven't, are a 2000, is it 2003?
I think it's an 02.
NA2 NSX. So the fixed headlight model in spa yellow.
Is that what it's called?
Spa yellow.
On black?
Yep, on black interior, which I believe was actually the only option. I don't think they ever came with a different color interior.
Some cars have some. I think there's like a cream, I want to say.
Okay.
I've seen other colors that are not very common. Most of them are black.
It seems like probably 90% of them are black.
Yeah.
And
no, I'm not going to fact check you on that for the video.
Well, I didn't say that in the video anyway, so this is totally different.
This video.
Yeah, this video, whatever. Either way, so that one has 82,000 miles, and is a really curing example.
Doesn't show it.
Yeah, no. It has a Type S springs and sway bars. That's its only modification. Everything else, exactly as it came.
And also 200 tread wear tires.
Yeah, it does have 200 tread wear tires, but they are older, so at this point they're not quite as...
They're like 5 years old.
Yeah, well, older and pretty. Looking on the inside...
Thanks to us and thanks to Todd and Paul.
Exactly. They've had a good life.
Yeah.
But they still are performing very well. And that car continues to amaze me and did really well. Makes all the right noises. And it still makes me want one. It's just so goddamn expensive.
Well, and something we didn't say on site for the video, but we're going to get to later, is the price discrepancy, the average Fiesta ST. Hey!
Nice, in orange.
The price discrepancy average is about $100,000 in between this car and that car.
Yeah, and you can get much cheaper NSXs. You can get them in the 60s through 80s pretty easily.
Oh god, you can get an automatic.
Well, I'm saying if you want a manual, what you do.
You do.
60 to 80, you can find a lot of options. However, the main reason that car in particular is so expensive is the combination of the color, the under 100,000 miles, and the year. Like that is a sweet spot car, and so it goes for the big money. But even, I'm not rich enough to even afford a $60,000 one. Fuck, if I could find a $30,000 to $40,000 salvage title one, I'd be on that in a heartbeat, even though I shouldn't. If I could find that car,
how much would it be to get it to be proper and drivable? If you've got a salvage title.
Well, if you got a salvage title, I've owned quite a few salvage title cars, and I'm not afraid of them. In fact...
Oh, sure, but I'm saying if you bought one that's been crashed...
Oh, yeah. If I'm the one doing the fixing, it would need to be less than that. I would imagine... I'm actually following one on Copart right now. It is an automatic, but I'm going to see how much it goes for, because I want to use that as a benchmark to see, okay, when it's actually in wrecked state, not fixed yet, how much does it go for?
Yeah.
When it's fixed, then hopefully I can find one. How much does it go for? Because if a fixed one that still has a salvage title but it's rebuilt goes for under 50, of course.
That's why I chose that camera to record us.
Yeah. Do we want to just...
Nah, we'll leave it.
We'll leave it. So if a fixed one goes for under 50, like one that has already been through, has had whatever fixes it need done to unsalvage it, that's where I would be.
If you found like a salvage, like a wrecked automatic, find a manual gearbox to go in it. It's still the 3-liter, unfortunately. They never made a 3.2 automatic, which is kind of dumb, but whatever.
Then we would see, but if I could find one that would fit in a reasonable-ish price bracket, even though I shouldn't do it, I would be sorely tempted, because, yet again, I continue to be amazed by just how easy that car is to do both. Nice high-speed fun, predictable, everything.
It doesn't ask anything of you, it doesn't demand anything of you, but it does it in a way that you are still involved. It's a weird line to ride, because you have cars like the R35 that does everything for you. You have like modern 911s that also do everything for you. And you have like modern Audis that basically drive themselves, right?
Yeah.
The Acura NSX still, it involves you in the experience, because you can't get to that point without, doing something.
Yep.
You can't get to those 5, 6, 7, 8 tenths without doing something. Here, we're just gonna try to pass a rock wall. I just want to. Had to do it to him.
But yeah, you can do that. But on the flip side, you can go into town and it's Not in any way, shape, or form uncomfortable to get around. Even for a mid-engine car, I actually have one argument. I think it is probably the easiest mid-engine car to get in and out of. I think...
Probably.
I think so. It was easier to get into than the Lotus.
Aside from, like, Caymans. Caymans and Boxers.
Caymans are, yeah, they basically have the same door sills as a regular 911-ish. Like, they're not any different.
Maybe.
They're pretty much like a normal car. But besides those, any, like... what I would call a more standard mid-engine car, because Cayman and Boxster, you look at it, you almost wouldn't think it was mid-engined by its design.
Right.
Anything that you could tell is mid-engined, I don't think anything's as easy to get in.
I was gonna say, if you're, I just brought up the Elise, but like compared to that, it's just like you keep walking and then you just stop walking.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like when you get into like a crossover, where it's like, oh, I just kept walking in.
Yeah, it is super easy to do that, and it's got a usable trunk. Very usable trunk. And the owner brought up one other thing, which I think is a good point. There's very few other Targa top cars that you can store the Targa with it and not remove all of your storage space.
Right.
It's basically limited to those in Koenigseggs, because they store it under the front.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Other than that, Corvette, C5 Corvette, you lose everything. If you take the top off, it takes up your entire trunk, which is large. It's hilarious. If you do... any type of T-top car, same thing. Like, they don't always have like a place to put the T-tops at all, so they're just floating around. Yeah. Anyways, that's good. And then the final car, Mark 4 R32.
It is a Golf. It does still kind of drive like a Golf, but it drives like a Golf from an era of where that wasn't a bad thing, really. It doesn't drive quite as nose heavy or shovey as, say, like the new Mark 8 GTI.
Yeah.
Haven't driven the 0.5 yet, so that would be cool to get some seat time in. But no, it drives nose heavy in a way. Speaking of which,
Mark 7.
It drives in still a chuckable hot hatch sort of way, even though it is all-wheel drive, and it does have kind of a nose-heavy engine for something that is in a hatchback.
Yeah.
Because it is a cast iron block of a 6-cylinder engine mounted longitudinally. I'm sorry, transversely. Would that be something?
Oh boy.
Longitudinal.
I mean, you could do it. You'd have to like really shave everything.
You would have to do what Renault did with the Clio V6 and put it in the back.
Yeah, exactly. But surprisingly for that, actually, here's a great way to think of it. Mark 1 through Mark 4 were all pretty respected for similar reasons. For punching above their weight, being kind of a working man's hero type of car.
Well, in period, the Mark 5 was good, but then just nothing changed from the driving dynamics of after Mark 5 happened, really Mark 6. From Mark 6 going forward, they were just the same car with a different interior and a different exterior. And then when they went to the Mark 8, they made the outside ugly.
Yep.
I will die on that hill. And they made the interior so unintuitive to the point that I would call it dangerous.
And they also, similar to this interior, the interior is going to date itself horribly. Almost all, it's not just a Volkswagen thing, almost all the cars coming out right now are going to be dated in 10 years.
Well, that's why now there are car manufacturers that are going back and they're abandoning haptic inputs and going back to buttons and dials and knobs.
For very good reason.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm going to have text now that we've got service. I want to get Brad a text.
Oh, there's no one behind us. Got to give the people something.
Oh yeah. Anyways, but I think that as we've talked about before, and it's not just an us thing, driving all three of these cars continues to remind me that peak natural, not just naturally aspirated, but also just natural car that didn't have a ton of electronic assistance to make it go faster, e-diff, electronic suspension, whatever you want to say, was 2000 through 2010. Pretty much all of the things that were like peak just raw mechanical chassis came out in that era.
And I would say there are some exceptions to that rule. such as my car, I would say Mark 7.
Yep.
A Mark 7 GTI or Golf R is still a great car.
Yes.
Especially it's just like as an all-around, if, go anywhere, do anything.
Yeah.
There you go, Mark 8 GTI. There's exceptions to that, like my car, Randall's Veloster N, your Kia Stinger.
Yes.
Chevy SS is in there.
Yes.
C7 CR1 is in there.
Yep.
Like, I'm not saying the first few cars were iconic, but I would definitely say that car's iconic.
It is, yes.
There are some exceptions in there, but I would say peak car would be from, say, 2000 to 2019. I think I'd probably draw the line at 2019.
I think there's a couple stragglers, but I think for the most part it ended about.
And the stragglers are later.
They are, yeah. I think for the most part it ended about 10 to 12, like for the vast majority of the market, because that's when the shift started to happen, and by 2015 a lot of the shift was in full swing, with a lot of manufacturers, continuing to refine the product, which sometimes means removing flaws, and sometimes the flaws will make it good.
Well, and it's also the issue of, it's what happens when OEMs listen to their customers, unfortunately, when they send out surveys, and they're like, what else would you like? Like, what would you like about this car maybe in the future if we made changes? Be like, oh, well, if it had a little bit more legroom, and it had, this feature, and if it was a little quieter, and all that, and they give those vague answers, and they're like, well, that means we have to add more sound deadening. We have to add these features, which add weight, and we have to make it bigger to accommodate for legroom maybe in the back or something. Yeah,
and don't get me wrong, something like an electronic LSD is a very cool thing. Like an LSD that actually can torque vector into a corner, that's all cool shit. Active engine mounts are cool shit. Like, the technology is cool. I mean, we're not even saying that it's bad. It clearly has improved the cars from statistics and metrics. They go faster, whatever you want to say. But are cars statistics, or are they feeling? It depends on who you are. For us, feeling matters more than statistics, full send.
Which is interesting, because I come from the world of video, photo, more artistic, and you come from more of, and like the way that our brains are wired, you're more from the binary, with computers and video games and stuff.
I'm more of an engineer. Like, I do tons of work on my own cars. I make fixes if they need them.
Yeah.
I'm all in that world, and I really like to get into the nitty-gritty of mechanically how it works, and that's why a lot of these speak to me. It's why the NSX speaks to me.
Yeah.
Because there is nothing getting in the way of you in that driving experience. Not a single thing, not even the dashboard in that car gets in the way of you in the driving experience.
Yeah. It's got a nice little cowl.
Yes, it is completely curated to that. And that's why it is, for worse, shot up in value. Because we're losing a lot of that.
Well, yeah, and it's a product that doesn't exist anymore. Like, the Lotus Emira is kind of the closest thing to it.
Yeah.
By the way, did you hear about, there's rumor that they might be ditching the V6 for a V8 in the Emira? Lotus, of all people, going back to a V8?
That's wild. It's a tight fit, though.
Yeah.
Whatever V8 they use, it's gonna be tight.
Yeah.
Because
they're already working with Mercedes.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
Here's the thing I can't imagine, though, with that. You can make a V8 light. You cannot make a V8 twin turbo that light.
Yep.
But that's mostly all that Mercedes makes at this point. I think it's all they make. I don't think they make a naturally aspirated V8 anymore.
No, they don't.
So if they are working with Mercedes, and if that partnership yields a V8, is it going to be the first Mercedes V8 that's NA, just not a Mercedes, in a long time?
That would be something, though, if they just took the 4.0.
Basically just contract AMG to make them. And naturally aspirated V8s.
Just like, we already know you're making a lot of these V8s, just like, just don't put the turbos in a few of these.
Yeah. And to Mercedes' credit, it has nothing to do with lightness, because again, it's just not possible to make a twin turbo V8 as light as a regular V8. It's just physics at that point. But they have made their cars sound pretty good even with the turbos. I would say the Mercedes V8s with the turbos sound better than the Audi's V8s with the turbos.
The Audis sound like a tool for a job.
They do.
Whereas like there's not a lot of passion in them.
The AMGs somehow still made them sound AMG. They still sound meaty and beefy like they always have. Yeah. So.
Oh, here we go. Oh, you need to hear this. So you know what I had yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
come on!
It's pretty fucking good. No, like you said, once you're above 4,500 RPM,
It cleans up.
It is good. Below that, it's like...
Yeah, it's a little dirty.
It's a little dirty below that. Then again, depending on the race cars, some race cars sound pretty shit until they're moving too.
Most race, like Miatas sound like shit. Like the only good sounding race cars are GT3s and Lambos, and pretty much that's like of the more regular race cars that come out to UMC for things like NASA and stuff. Of course, like for World Time Attack and when Pirelli was doing, I don't know if they still are doing World Challenge, but.
Sorry, say that again. What's up? Oh. Nice.
Commuter lanes, what's up?
I know. Pirelli World Challenge.
Pirelli World Challenge, I shot that race a few times, like about 10 years ago, so I can't remember if they're still doing that, but yeah, they had like 458s, and the 6.2s of the SLS race cars were rad.
Yeah.
But like most race cars do sound like shit, especially like E46 like spec car, 350Z obviously spec cars, like those sound like shit.
Yeah.
Miatas don't sound good.
I think there's two classes that more often sound good. Number one is anything with a large engine. Most of the larger engine cars, V10, 12s, whatever, tend to sound a little better. They have a little more engine to push through a lack of exhaust, more or less.
Yeah.
Secondly is, surprisingly, McLarens. I think their race cars idling sound better than the regular cars. The regular cars idling sound kind of shit.
Oh, I couldn't tell you what a race car idling sounds like.
I was at one of the Pirelli World Challenges and sat in one of those race cars, and they fired it up.
Yeah.
It sounded better than most of them. It didn't sound bad. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, this car definitely suffers from that problem.
It needs more engine to push through the exhaust.
Yeah, the NSX is the polar opposite. I've actually I was reminding myself of this. The NSX was the quietest car we drove by a decent amount, because even the stock exhaust in that Mark 4 R32 is decently spicy. It's just spicy enough to have some fun.
Yeah.
But the NSX is all engine noise. There is virtually no exhaust.
It's all induction.
Yeah, and it's right here, right behind your left ear, because that's where the airbox is. It's great. Oh man.
So good.
So good, indeed. One thing we didn't really touch on the video that maybe we can touch on here and in voiceover actually is something I just thought about. I think 6s are one of the easiest engines to get wrong. Because it is often. Let's say a manufacturer wants to make something more powerful than their 4-cylinder. They have two choices: turbocharged 4 or V6. Those are your two options to fit in like a regular sized package to give something more powerful, more power. Often, they'll show a V6 in there, but that V6, while it will make a significant amount more torque than the 4-cylinder,
right,
it won't often make much more horsepower, and it will suffer in many other efficiency ways. It's heavier. It's not that good. More often than not, I think when a manufacturer tries to do that, what's up? Hello? Civic Con? Gotcha.
What?
I don't know. Anyways, but I think more often than not, there's a lot of cars that end up with a 6-cylinder, but it doesn't really perform that well. It doesn't. No. The amount of extra weight and the little bit of extra power doesn't actually end up making the car that much better.
Yeah.
And it, some cases ruins it. But I think in the examples we chose here, and a few that we'll look at later, those 6-cylinders actually are done well. But I think it takes a lot more effort to do a 6-cylinder well, and more specifically to make a 6-cylinder sound very good than it does.
Well, I mean, so if we're gonna break down 6-cylinders in general, we're gonna leave out Porsche because they sound like their own thing and they make power in their own way and whatever. VR6s, just kind of while we're talking about more oddball engine configurations, will always sound at least interesting or characterful in some sort of way. and the one that we do have in the in the R32, and the same in the Mark V R32 as well.
Yeah.
It makes similar torque than it does power.
Yep.
But while also being smooth in their power delivery.
Yep.
And they're not very like cammy. They don't like hit like a variable valve timing.
No,
that's
it's
obvious.
Smooth from bottom to top.
Yeah. Inline sixes are always smooth too. Right? Generally?
They generally are, but they, like this car, inline sixes, even one that's not as sport driven as this, hit their stride much higher up usually. Even without Vanos like this has. They generally, 4,500 and up was where they're just happiest. Because you've got all the momentum of that straight engine forcing everything back, and it's kind of a perpetual motion machine to a small degree.
Yeah.
It kind of keeps itself going.
By the way, we were talking about gearing earlier. I am at... Well, that person just cut me off.
Yep.
I was going to say at 3,000, but here, 2,500 RPM is 64 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So, rather tall gearing for a sports coupe of this type.
Yep.
75 is just over 3.
Yeah. That makes sense. But, going back, I lost my train of thought.
We're talking about 6-cylinders.
Yes. Anyways, straight sixes is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So yeah, they all hit their stride higher up. V6s are kind of all over the place. There are V6s that are fucking dead as a doornail. Obviously not in more sportier things for the most part, but just regular things all over. And there's V6s like the NSX that are smooth and balanced, and also kind of hit a stride like this, more higher up. And then there's V6s that almost act a little bit more torquey and are kind of dead at the top. 350Zs don't have as much when you're getting to that top end.
The DEs are that way. The HRs are not that way, to my because they had a higher red line.
Yeah.
Hence HR. The V6 that's in my flower company's one of the delivery vans. That's the Ram ProMaster 1500.
Yeah.
That thing is like, it's fine until like $5,000, and then between 5 and 6, it just goes. I'm just like, hold on.
Yeah. And I think even this car exemplifies it's actually somewhat hard to make a 6-cylinder sound good, even with a good engine and a good setup and ITBs and all that. They don't always sound good, even if they are good in every other way.
You're saying in this case, as in the S54?
As in the S54.
Yeah, okay.
The other two cars, again, going back to what he said...
The S52s are good.
S52s are good. Pretty much most BMWs prior to this are good. Every BMW after this, it's questionable. Depends on the model.
Yeah.
But like, if you look at the VR6, that's a love it or hate it thing. If you love the way it sounds and you want an oddball V6 sound, it sounds great.
I think most people appreciate them and think they're quirky and fun, and if it's for them, fine. But it might not be for them.
Yeah.
Maybe mostly because of what surrounds the VR6. Everything else about the car, they might not want a Volkswagen product, but seeing one drive by, they'll go, oh, that's interesting.
And I think one of the other things the NSX balances really well is it has the most natural, harmonious sound. It has the most pure V6 sound.
Symphonic, if you will.
It is very, again, boring, predictable, whatever you want to call it, but it exemplifies all of the good qualities of what a V6 sounds like and none of the bads.
Yeah.
None of the drone, none of the weird, odd things you can get, none of the buzzing that like this has.
Yeah.
Part that's because it's all induction, but the black one we drove had a great exhaust that sounded mint.
Mm-hmm.
Was just loud enough, not quite as loud as this, but that's actually a good thing in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, loud like that can be fun, but most of the time it's going to be annoying when it doesn't have a quiet mode.
Yeah, and this doesn't really have a quiet. The quiet mode is just driving with the windows up.
Quiet mode is neutral coasting.
Yeah.
More or less. So, anyways, we should probably get it wrapped up. We're almost there.
We don't need to expose Brad.
Right. Well, we're not gonna. I mean, this is for the most part good. So,
true.
Yep.
Anyways.
Well, I've been Justin. Thank you for tuning in to our little podcast.
We'll see if we keep doing more of these.
I think we will. Go ahead.
Should we try all of that one more time?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, thank you for tuning into our little podcast at the end of this. We'll see if we do more of these. It's kind of like a hit or miss, just when we're exiting a shoot.
Yeah. this beats, not doing the podcast at all.
Yep.
I think it's kind of fun to talk about things, maybe like what we're going through our minds on like the day of the shoot, what's going on in our lives in general, and just kind of posting here and there instead of only scheduled and then nothing. Like it's, I like doing this more.
Yep.
Gives you all something to look forward to. So until next time, I've been Gavin.
And I've been Justin.
And this has been the Exhibition of Speed Podcast.